Hello and welcome to Pet Pals. I'm Bethany Davidson, the Humane Educator here at Frederick County Animal Control and Pet Adoption Center. And we are showing everybody, all of our volunteers, as we're rotating through. And today, one of our volunteers, Hunter, is helping us out as animal wrangler today. Our first guest is a guest that's been at the shelter for quite some time, since the beginning of July. This is Ellie, and she is a 3 to 4 year old pit bull. She's pit bull mix. She's really cute. She's very small, so if you have a smaller home, you can still get, have that pit bull breed if that's what you're looking for, but a smaller size, not going to take up as much space in your house. She is very sweet and very affectionate. She's relatively calm. As you can see, she's perfectly happy just to have her belly rubbed. She's pretty quiet in her kennel. She comes right to the front to greet people, so she's very friendly. She doesn't have any real reactions to other dogs. She's easy to obtain. She, like a lot of the dogs here, can pull when they're walking, be a little difficult to wall in that regard. So just a harness will help out with that. She willingly lets go of toys. She really loves to be petted. So she's a great all-around dog. She was previously owned, so she's used to having somebody to love and cuddle on her. People have been looking at her. They say that she's been doing really well with kids and all kinds of people. So if you're looking to add a nice, sweet dog to your house, stop in and visit with Ellie. One of the things that you should be aware of, however, if you want to make her part of your family, is that she is Lyme positive. We get a lot of Lyme positive dogs in here. It's not really a major concern for a lot of people. It's something where if she starts showing symptoms, you would just treat her with some antibiotics for 30 days, making sure that you're keeping her on flea and tick preventative, making sure that you're getting her that Lyme vaccine from your vet, and just talking to your vet and communicating about what all that entails and making sure that you're prepared to take that on. Because you're not just taking on all of the good qualities when you're adding Ellie or any other animal to your house, you're also taking on all of their medical needs. So she has something that's a little extra that some of the other dogs might not have. But she does know sit, she knows down. She's been really quiet. She's been interested in toys, but she's mostly been interested in affection, jumping up to try to sit in laps and stuff like that. So she is a fantastic pet that's going to make a great addition to any family. If you are interested in getting one of our longer residents into your home, stop in and visit us here at Frederick County Animal Control and Pet Adoption Center. Our next guest is Coop, and he is a 9 to 11 month old brindle and black hound mix. He came to us as a stray, but doing a little bit of research like we always try to do, we found out that he is actually a former dog that had had a lot of service dog training, but because he was so distracted, that's not something that really worked out well for him. So he does have a lot of basics down. He knows a lot of things, but he's still going to need some training to kind of refine that, to get him a little more focused. He is a puppy, so he needs somebody who's willing to make sure that he is going to do what he needs to do in your home, that he's not going to be jumping up on your counters. He's just going to need that fine-tuning training. But as you can see, he knows the basics of sit, down, paw. He knows those things. Because he is a puppy, he will be adopted through our puppy process, which means that we will take up to 4 applications for Coop, and then we will figure out what the best fit is for him. Our puppy applications are a little more lengthy than our standard application. They ask you more questions, questions relating to what's your plan. Are you going to crate train them? Are you going to, what are your expectations for your dog, just to make sure that you understand all the work that comes with having a puppy. Even an older puppy still needs a lot of maintenance. They're relying on you to teach them the best ways to behave in your house. We have tested, behavior assessed and tested on Coop like we do all of our dogs. He's very friendly. He reacts favorably to other dogs. He gets really excited, so sometimes he's a little jumpy. He can be a little difficult to walk for the same reason. He has no issues with food aggression. He really loves to be petted, and he will try to jump in your lap, sit in your lap. Even if you're standing up, he'll jump up and try to give you little hugs. So he's very, very affectionate, but he just needs someone to help him focus his energy. He's gonna, focus his attention and get him to do what he needs to do. So he is a hound, so also being aware that, you know, when their nose catches something, they're going to be quick to run off and follow that scent. So making sure that your home is set up so that he can't get out. That means making your fences are tall and secure, that he can't dig out underneath of them, making sure that people in your family are always keeping the gates closed and stuff like that, to ensure that he's going to be safe and not get out, because he did come to us as a stray. So if you're interested in adding a cute little puppy like Coop to your family, then you can stop in and visit him at Frederick County Animal Control. We are located at 1832 Rosemont Avenue. This is Bo. We constantly get people asking if we have golden retrievers, and now we have a golden retriever. He is a golden retriever mix. He is 11 years old. He came to us under really sad and unfortunate circumstances. His owners lost their home, so with no home for themselves, they really didn't have a place to keep Bo either. They tried to find him another home, but unfortunately they were unsuccessful. So they brought him to us so that we could find him another home and keep him safe in the process. He is a little anxious in the kennel. He's 11 years old, but he lived in a home for 10 years, so he's not really used to being in a kennel. So he barks a little bit in there, but once you get him out, he's really calm. He walks nicely on the leash. His previous owner said that he's been around other dogs. He gets along with them. He lived in a home with cats. He's been around children of all ages. So if you're thinking about integrating a dog into your home and you have existing cats, this might be a great option for you. It says that he's very playful and friendly, and when we brought him out, we saw that he still had a high energy level, in that, he was excited to be out, bouncing around. When he saw treats, he was doing a little bit of a happy dance. He couldn't wait to get those treats. So just because he's an older dog doesn't mean that he's lacking in energy. He's still going to want to go out on walks with you and hang out and play in the park and things like that. He walks nicely on a leash. He rides well in a car. He's used to getting baths and vet checks and all of those things. His previous owner said that he can be a bit of a counter surfer, so that's something that if you added him to your house, you would have to be prepared for, making sure that you're keeping things, from being left unattended on the counter. You're pushing things further back so that he can't reach them as easily. Says he does bark when people are at the door, so he's going to alert you to those types of things. But otherwise, he's used to being, left alone during the workday, and his previous owner said that they trusted him and that he doesn't make mistakes in the house, all of those types of things. So he's got a lot of good things going for him. As far as our behavior assessment of Bo, he has no issues with food aggression. Again, he reacts favorably to other dogs. He can be a little difficult to walk in that he pulls, but again, I would recommend getting a harness for almost every dog. It just makes it easier, gives you more control. But this guy loves to be petted. He really leans in and enjoys touch. He's loving those treats. He's going to make a fantastic addition to a home. As you can see, he's calm because he's that older dog, but he has all of those great traits that are still, he's still active, so he can, play with your kids and do all of that stuff. As you can see right now, we have a wide variety of breeds in the shelter, all different shapes, sizes, ages. Up next we have Bella, and she's a Papillon mix, and she's 6 years old. She is a dog that's one of the shyer ones. She takes a little while to warm up, but then she's perfectly happy to be your friend. She did come to the shelter with another dog named Ava. So right now they're housed together. Ava is a Shih Tzu. They are not listed as bonded, but they're housed together so that they can have somebody to keep them company. Because they're used to each other, it also opens up kennel space for other dogs that we have. As we've talked about recently, we have a large number of dogs that are available for adoption, which is why we're doing our Dog Days of Summer promotion, where all the dogs over the 6 months old and over are going home for a $20 reduction in their adoption fee. Ava, the partner that came in with Bella is already full on applications and is scheduled to be adopted. But unfortunately, no one so far has wanted to make Bella part of their home. So that's why she's on Pet Pals today. She's a great size. So, you know, if you're living in an apartment and you can't really have a big dog, Bella will be a great companion to kind of keep you company in your house. She's very friendly. Aside from being shy, she has no reaction to other dogs. She's very easy to walk. She has no issues with food aggression. She's perfectly happy to be petted. Information that we've gotten from her previous owner is that she is used to, again, other dogs, but she's also been around cats. She's been around children of all ages. She does know sit. And they said that she's not used to being on a leash because they would go out in the yard with her, but she has been walking fine on a leash here. She's very playful when she gets comfortable with you. Apparently she loves to chase mice. She's also been quite happy to sit on Hunter's lap, be a little bit of a lap dog. One of the things that the previous owners did tell us, in addition to the fact that she's shy, is that she does get car sick. So that's just something that you should be prepared for. Not really a big deal, just making sure you have blankets on the backs of the car seats and things like that in case she does get a little sick. Like a lot of the animals that come into the shelter that are shy, they just need a little bit more patience on their new owner's part to give them that opportunity to feel comfortable and confident in their new space so that they can then show you their true personalities. If you wanted to visit with Bella, again, you can come here and see her. Our hours in the kennel are going to be Monday, Tuesday, and Friday from 10 to 5, Wednesday and Thursday from 12 to 8, and Saturdays from 10 to 4. Because she is also a senior, she would get an additional $20 discount on her adoption fee in addition to the Dog Days of Summer promotion. Our last canine guest for everyone today is Blue, and he is another one of our hound puppies. He is 6 months old. He's just a hound mix. Again, because he is a puppy, he will be adopted through that puppy process, which means there's a lengthier application that will need to be filled out, and then instead of taking the typical 2 applications per animal, we'll take up to 4, again deciding what the best fit is for an animal. Puppies are a lot of work. We want to make sure that everyone who's taking one home is committed to giving them all of the training that they need. House training, basics for good manners, learning, sit, stay, learning to walk nicely on the leash, learning not to jump on people. All of those things are important for having a well-behaved dog, both in your house and then outside in the community. And those, puppies aren't going to know those things unless we take the time as owners to teach them those things. According to the paperwork that we have, Blue actually wasn't a member of his last family for a very long period of time, but they were unable to care for him for personal reasons, but he's very playful and energetic and friendly, as a typical puppy would be. They say he walks well on leash, he rides well in the car, he's used to baths. As always, we do our own assessment on all of the dogs that come in. He doesn't have issues with food aggression. He will give up an object when you ask him to. He loves to be petted. He reacts favorably to other dogs. He's very friendly. He's easy to obtain. Again, he's a puppy. He pulls on his leash. He jumps up on people, so that makes him a little bit difficult to walk. Again, harnesses are a great thing. As you can see, not only is he treat motivated, but he's toy motivated. So instead of just giving him treats all the time, you can get him to sit and stay and teach him things using those treats, which those toys, which he's excited to be able to interact with. He does have a lot of energy. So if you're thinking about taking Blue home, you need to make sure that you have the time and the space for him, making sure that he's going to have a place where he's able to go on long walks and hikes and runs. He's going to be able to play in a yard or in a dog park. He might be better in a home with a yard. And when they're in the house, also making sure that they have things to keep them occupied in the house, even if they're in a crate, those types of Kongs and things to keep their minds mentally stimulated. If you are interested in adding Blue to your family, you think that you are a good match for his energy level, again, you can stop by and visit him here at Frederick County Animal Control and Pet Adoption Center. We are located at 1832 Rosemont Avenue. And that's going to wrap it up for this portion of the show. We do want to remind everyone that during the month of August, we are doing our Dog Days of Summer promotion. So all of the dogs that are 6 months old and older, they will qualify for a $20 reduction in their adoption fee. After the break, we are going to showcase several of our adoptable felines that are also looking for their new forever homes.
Child abuse is not an isolated problem. It affects each of us, and it is only through each of us that child abuse can be prevented. Get involved. Call the Child Advocacy Center to find out how to help. 301-600-1758.
Homegrown here is the tagline for fresh fruits, vegetables, and farm-raised products grown locally in Frederick County, Maryland. There are many places available to buy fresh, local products. Several locations offer their products at their farm market, while others use the 14 farmers markets around the county. To find out when and where these markets are available, visit www.discoverfrederickmd.com or call 301-600-1058 and ask about our agriculture industry. Remember, fresh, high-quality farm-raised products are homegrown here in Frederick County.
Welcome back. Oftentimes in the shelter we get some special needs animals, and one of those special needs animals is Lord Darnell, also known as LD, and he is a tripod cat, meaning he only has 3 legs. He's missing his left rear leg. We don't know exactly how that happened, but he seems to be functioning, pretty well. Cats are really good at adjusting. He's only a year old, so that amputation has been fairly recent for him. His previous owners said that they couldn't keep him. They'd had him for about 9 months, but he wasn't getting along with their other cats. That could have been something where he just doesn't like other cats, or it could have been the environment. It could have been the other cats were picking on him. We don't really know what the cause was. But one of the things that we do know about LD, as we've been calling him, is that he is pretty shy. Here in the kennel, he spends a lot of his day hiding in his cage under his bed, just because he's not feeling super secure here in the shelter. And as we talk about frequently, it is scary for the animals here, so he's just trying to figure out kind of how he feels about it. Sometimes they, after a couple of weeks, they settle in. We had a cat named Phoebe who was spending all of her time under her bed as well. And then after a couple of weeks, she decided all of a sudden that she was going to not be under her bed, but in her bed, out where everyone could see her. So it just takes a little bit of time. According to the previous owners, LD does not like loud noises. But he can be a pretty talkative guy. He likes laser pointers, jingly toys, feather toys, those types of things. So at a year old, he still has kind of some kitten energy in him. He's a little nervous here because this is a new place for him, but he seems to have liked, kind of being secure and being held a little tightly. And he's one of those cats that's gonna be a great pet, but again, like we talked about with Bella, needs a little time to adjust. Most cats with 3 legs don't need you to make any special modifications in your home for them. They learn. It's just one of the things, like as they get older, with some arthritis, it might be something where the steps and things like that, as they age, become more difficult. But right now, he seems to be perfectly capable of moving around, getting around all on his own. If you are interested in adding LD to your family, you can stop by and visit him here at Frederick County Animal Control and Pet Adoption Center. According to this, he has been in a home with dogs as well, so that's something that if you're looking to add a cat to your dog-friendly home, then he might also be a good fit for you. This is Morty. Oftentimes people come in looking for black and white cats, but there are also a fair amount of times, most of the times in fact, when the black cats kind of get overlooked. They're kind of hard to see in their cages because their dark colors blend in with the cage. They don't look as unique as some of the other animals, and their stays typically end up being a little longer than the other animals. Morty, however, is he has a very big personality, so he does stand out a little bit more than some of the other black cats that we have in the shelter. He's one of those guys that's going to reach out and grab for you when he's getting fed. If people are bending down into the cages underneath of his, he's the guy that's going to be tapping you on the head. He's the guy that lays in funny positions in his cage, and you just can't help but laughing at him. He is still young, at 1.5 years old, and he is one of the residents that's been in the shelter a little longer than some of the others. He's not the longest resident, but he did come in mid-June, and he's still here with us. He came to us because his previous owner said that he was kind of mean to their other cats in the house, so Morty would probably do best in a home where he's an only cat, so he can get all of your love and attention, and he loves attention. But he's very friendly to other people. He seems to, according to his previous owner, not be as great with small kids, but that's something that we haven't placed any restrictions on who he can be adopted with. That's just something that when you come in to visit, you'll have to see how Morty is and how he interacts with your children. Apparently he loves laser lights, but it's just something where he would probably be best if he were the only pet in your house, but he has a big personality, as I already mentioned, so he'll fill up your house with lots of love and antics. He is one of the larger cats. He's not, right now we have a lot of petite cats, but he's one of the bigger ones. He's not overweight, but he's just a little bit longer, a little bit more substantial than some of the teeny tiny cats that we have. So he's got a lot to cuddle with there, and he's just looking for his forever home. If you're interested in Morty and you can give him kind of that life where he's going to be the only animal in your house, stop in and visit with him. He is the adoption fee for all of the cats and kittens is $97.50. That includes spaying or neutering, rabies vaccine, county license, distemper vaccines, dewormer, flea and tick preventative, microchipping, and a free well visit to the vet. So you really can't beat that price. And then Morty, he doesn't qualify, but then we do start doing discounts for our senior animals. So starting at the age of 5, they become seniors, and then animals start getting $20 reductions in their adoption fee based on their age. If you want to make Morty part of your family, you can come in and visit him here at Frederick County Animal Control and Pet Adoption Center. Our next guest is Marshall, and Marshall came to us in a large number of cats that were brought in because the family just had too many cats. They had a lot of personal things going on. It was just too much responsibility. So they brought him into us so that we could find all of these animals new forever homes. Marshall is one of those guys, and he's about 2 to 3 years old. He is relatively calm. When you walk by his cage, he's just kind of hanging out in there, very, very quiet, not nearly as outgoing as, say, Morty, but he's still a very sweet guy. Anita, one of our volunteers, was holding him. He was perfectly, happy to, be up on her shoulder, looking around. So he's just kind of a sweet, quiet guy. Right now, he's kind of unsure of what's going on. Because he did come from a home with so many other animals, he should be fine going into a home as a second or third cat. And I know one of the animals that he came in with is actually on the adoption floor right now, Hayes. So if you're looking to add a couple of animals to your house, maybe finding out what some of those other ones are, maybe reuniting maybe Hayes and Marshall or some of the other animals that he had come in with. Just because it's easier to integrate animals that already know each other than picking 2 random cats from the shelter and then trying to let them get to know each other and things like that. According to his previous owner, he's been around other cats, dogs, he's been around a variety of children of all ages, he's been around small animals. He's very calm, he's playful, he's friendly. He doesn't seem to have any bad habits like climbing curtains or clawing at furniture, and that he does use his scratching pad and post. You always want to make sure that you have those things available for your cats, because cat scratching is a part of natural cat behavior, so they're going to do it. You want them to be able to do it. You just want to channel it in a positive way. You know, Marshall's going to be one of those animals that you're going to be able to take in and just kind of refocus him and let him know where all of his things are, and then hopefully he'll settle in nicely and you won't have to worry about training him to avoid doing those inappropriate behaviors. He seems to have, again, settled in really nicely here with Hunter. He's starting to feel more comfortable, liking being petted. So he might be a potential lap cat for a family that's looking for that as well. You can visit him and see if he wants to climb on your lap and hang out for a while here at Frederick County Animal Control and Pet Adoption Center. We are located at 1832 Rosemont Avenue. Our last two guests are Luke and Olivia. So sitting over with Hunter is brown tabby Luke, and sitting on my lap is gray tabby Olivia. They are both 2 years old. They made their way to the shelter because the allergies in the home where they were living were getting too severe, so they brought them to us so that we could find them a new home. These guys are color-coded blue, so they are going to be the most friendly, most affectionate, most mild-mannered cats that we have on the adoption floor. They are front to clawed, so if that's something that you are looking for, then we do have three cats that are front to clawed in the shelter right now, both Luke and Olivia, and then another cat named Cash, who is also a blue card, I believe. These guys live in a cage together. They are good friends. They like to cuddle and they sleep together. However, they are not listed as bonded. But again, if you are looking to take two home, these would be a great two to take because they already know each other. You don't have to worry about integrating them and maybe they don't get along. These guys already like each other. They sleep next to each other. They love each other. Luke is more of the outgoing of the two. When you come up to his cage, he immediately, regardless of what he's doing, jumps down and wants to be interacting with you. He's very curious and inquisitive. He wants to get down and look around. When he came in here, he wanted nothing to do with sitting on Hunter's lap. He wanted to go exploring. Olivia is a little more of the quieter of the two. She's going to stick in the back of her cage a little bit. She's more of the lap cat. So together they're kind of the perfect mix of you know, the really playful, you know, more independent, and then the cat that's going to be more cuddly. Both are incredibly soft. They are very sweet. They're very quiet, and they're just going to make somebody great pets. They, according to their previous owners, have been around dogs. They've been around children of all ages. They're very friendly and playful. They're easy to handle. So, you know, they are used to each other. So if you had other cats in the home, that's something that they would probably do well since they're used to one another. Because they are declawed, though, you have to make sure that you're taking special care to make sure that if you have other animals in the home, they're not being aggressive with them, because these guys don't have that primary method of defense. You also have to make sure that if you're getting declawed, cats that are already declawed, that you're keeping them inside, as they don't have that way to defend themselves or to climb up a tree if need be, if something were to happen. So these guys are quickly becoming two of my favorites at the shelter because, again, they have great personality. Luke has an amazing personality. He's very outgoing. Olivia is a little more subtle with what she wants, but they're going to make great additions to a family, and they are both still relatively young. So at 2 years old, they're going to be with a family for a long time. If you're interested in adding one or both of these guys to your family, you can come in and visit them. If you do adopt two, you do get an additional $20 reduction in your adoption fee for taking home two animals at the same time. That's going to wrap it up for this week's edition of Pet Pals. Tune in next week to see another set of 10 animals who are available for adoption here at Frederick County Animal Control and Pet Adoption Center.